Alright, so today I want to talk about deadlift accessory movements that will get your deadlift up, that I've been using recently to make the progress that I've made. And the first exercise I want to talk about is for anybody who has problems with lockout. Basically, I would always get to right above my knees and I would start just like shaking, and it was a disaster. Even if I wasn't hitching it, which sometimes I probably was, it just looked awful, and I always struggled from my knees up. So the number one thing I've been doing to fix that area of the movement is 45-degree barbell hyperextensions. And I used to believe glute ham raise with bands was the most effective for that area, but I've switched to these, and I've definitely noticed a big improvement. So what you need is one of those 45-degree hyperextension machines. They're I don't know, most gyms should have them, honestly, and you'll see most people either doing them without weight or they'll be holding like a 45-pound plate, but that's not obviously going to be enough for the purposes we're trying to use it for. So I'll put a barbell out in front of me, just overhand grip, and I'll hold onto that and I'll just come up just like you would normally. And right now I'm doing that for about 295 for 10 right now. So that has drastically improved my lockout. I have no problems anymore. It's just smooth all the way through the movement, and I attribute that to that exercise. Now, if you're weak off the floor, I would say you should start hitting pause squats, because pause squats, you're starting from basically a stop, but you still have the stretch reflex. And I've been doing these a ton in recent weeks as well, and there's literally, at this point in time, no weak part to my pull. When I deadlift, it's smooth all the way through from the ground up. I have no sticking points anymore. And so those are my two exercises that I would attribute that to. It's obviously some other things have helped with that. Training without a belt, I feel, has helped a lot, just to strengthen my core. But I think number one, 45-degree hypers for lockout and pause squats for problems off the ground. The other thing I recently tried, I did this yesterday, and it was probably the hardest exercise I've ever done, would be safety bar squats. Now, this is like the movement from hell, because it puts all the weight, unracking it was probably the hardest part, but it keeps you centered. If you don't stay centered and you don't stay upright, you will not complete the lift, and that, as everyone knows on my squats, is my biggest problem. I tend to pitch forward. You can't do that with this exercise. So what I found it was doing was it was hammering my glutes and my core. I'm so sore from that, it's unbelievable. And I only went up to like 455 for a triple, and that was pretty damn tough, beltless. So I'm going to start throwing those in a lot more, just for glute activation purposes, which again will translate to a stronger lockout, and for keeping my, or helping improve my regular squat form. So those are kind of the three exercises I'm using for my deadlift assistance right now. I still do a lot of hammer strength pull downs, single arm underhand, but you can do lat pull downs too. It's going to be the same thing. And then everybody knows right now my grip is my biggest issue, because it seems once I get above 8 plates, 765, I start having trouble holding on to it. So what I've been doing is simply at the end of each of my training sessions, I'll take a 100-pound plate and do plate holds with that in my fingertips basically for as long as I can. And so I'm going to test it out again this Sunday. I kind of tweaked my lat the other day doing lat pull downs, but the plan for this Sunday is to try 815 beltless deadlift, hopefully without straps. We'll see how my grips come up, but we'll see how all that goes. That's what I've been doing.